Hello, and welcome to my Gravedigger combat guide. And I got a question for you. Do you hate dying over and over and over? Well, me too. So, in this video, I'll be showing you on how to get better at Gravedigger. This will be a combat video ranging between fighting styles and strategies that benefits you. I'll be covering techniques, tips and tricks, and a bunch more that falls in the meaning or category of combat. So, let's get started. But on a note, the main goal of combat is killing an enemy while you live. So, what does this mean? This means that this is your primary objective in combat, is to defeat the enemy while maximizing your own chances of survival. So, I want to ask you all something. Is it better to risk to try and kill one enemy on the team, but you have a high probability to die? Or play safe by waiting or repositioning yourself so you don't die while also getting kills? The point I'm saying is, your life is worth more than a kill. Let's do some stuff with the in-game settings. The first setting you should turn on is disable body shooting. Enabling this makes it so you can shoot through corpses, which is beneficial if, for example, a person is using a corpse as a shield. But if it's off, the bullets will get blocked by the corpse. The next setting you need to turn on is your extended barrel and enable laser. This is one of the most important settings in the game. Having an axe in the middle of the crosshair, making it easy to aim and see the center of the crosshair where the bullet might go. It also has a laser to show any obstacle that's interfering with those shots. And last, but not least, transparency crosshair. They're both your choices to decide. Having it off helps for you in the dark areas in the cave, but having it on makes it a less obstructed view. There's a lot of settings that you can experiment for yourself, but these are the most important ones that you need to have on, from my opinion. After all, it's better to at least try all the settings yourself and get comfortable with them. Anyways, since the boring part is out of the way, let's talk about techniques. We all know that in Gravedigger, if you move, you are inaccurate while shooting. But as soon as you release any movement keys, you instantly stop and instantly have full accuracy. This is very bad for you. Here's why. Name me any game that's PvP, PvE, or FPS. And name me one thing that messes up people's aim that you're always doing without even noticing. That's right. It's moving. moving is one of the most crucial parts in Gravedigger, since you have to stop individually to stay accurate, which it also makes it easier to be hit. So you might be asking, surely there is a way to shoot while moving? And the short answer is yes. Counter-strafe. Just like in every game, move the opposite direction and shoot. So that means releasing the booming key and then tap or hold the opposite key and shoot. Just remind you, please do not shoot as soon as you press the opposite key. It will not work. As soon as you press the opposite key, wait for at least 5 to 10 milliseconds then shoot. If you get really good with counter-strafing, you can do stuff like this. But if you're really good at counter-strafing, turn on static crosshair. Blackhand and Jesse just makes counter-strafe really OP. From Blackhand's faster fire rate and movement penalties, making it harder for the enemy to even hit you, while also shooting faster. Now, how can we make counter-strafe more useful? Well, let's say counter-strafe peeking. The goal of peeking is to try and peek as fast as you can, so you get covered while shooting the enemy. Which counter-strafe is the best way to peek? So, I'll go step by step on how to counter-strafe peek. So, step 1, hug the wall and aim in. Step 2, put your crosshair on the enemy or where you think the enemy is. Step 3, counter-strafe while peeking. Be mindful that you should make sure the laser isn't colliding with any obstacles. Now, let's talk about shoot baiting. Just like in the name, you make the enemy shoot at you. Here is an example. So the officer runs up, giving a good angle to kill me with his Kingslayer, which, from where he is positioned, it's easy to aim for my head, which can kill me. So, I move to get cover, which he shoots since he was paranoid, making his instincts kick in, which gives me an advantage to counter it. There isn't a lot of techniques in Gravedigger, from what I know by playing the game, but this is a combat video, and like I said at the start of the video, your life is more important than a kill. So I'll be showing you tips and tricks on how to be safe while getting kills. Let's begin with pre-aim. Now, pre-aim has a lot of key aspects, such as map knowledge, movement syncing, which is basically counter-strafing, click reaction time, and most importantly, crosshair positioning. Which sounds complicated, but in reality it isn't, so let me demonstrate to you. Look at this clip. And compare that clip to this. So, what did I do different? That's right. My gun takes 0.35 seconds to draw. That's a huge time to get you killed. But if you draw before you peek, you're ready for the fight, giving you an advantage. And you might say, this is useless. Your goal is to surprise the enemy and peek as fast as you can. But is that really true? As you can see, the enemy can see the light before you are revealed. So does it really matter if you wait to pre-aim? Of course not. The enemy knows that you're there anyways. Alright, so let's talk about the pre-aim key aspects, which is map knowledge for checking corners, movement syncing, counter-strafe to peek the corner, crosshair positioning, trace the wall to the area you think the enemy might be, click reaction time, mark your crosshair to the enemy if your crosshair positioning was off. So, Let me demonstrate you in this section on how you should do these. Here, I crosshair positioned my crosshair on where I think the enemy is. Then I'm movement syncing, which is counter strike peeking and shooting the enemy. Here I'm checking corners if there's a probability if an enemy will be there. Here you see my crosshair positioning not on the target, which is fine since placing an aim and predicting where the enemy might be is a guess. But don't worry, just macro your crosshair to the enemy. A good pre-aim is mostly carried by your crosshair positioning, and after all, the first person to hit the opponent will increase their chances of them leaving while the opponent dies. A very good pre-aim is tracking where you think the enemy will be behind a wall, which the crosshair is positioned on the torso. And time your counter strike peeking right and you will win most of the time. Alright, so let me show you something. Look at this dread match and observe what he is doing wrong. I can tell you at least one of the most important things that you should consider doing, no matter if you're dread or not. So, throughout the Dread's Death Wish, what do you notice? Well, it's cover. Cover is one of the most easiest and important tip in every game. Cover makes it so you don't have your full body exposed, which it makes the enemy easier to aim on your body since your body is fully open to the enemy crosshair. But if you position yourself to peek behind a rock, you can see my body isn't fully exposed to the enemy, which makes it harder for the enemy to even hit me. This can also be applied to high ground, which from below it's less body exposed, but where I am, I can see more of my opponent's body than he can. To fully use cover while ensuring high survivability rate while killing the enemy is by pre-aiming, but this time you wait for the enemy to be exposed and you strike. Which you saw how unfair this is, since he has no cover and I did. He couldn't do anything to counter it. And I will give you a tip, no matter if you're reloading or healing yourself, you should always be in cover. And if not, this might happen to you. Let's talk about Peeker's advantage. In this image you can see our crosshair is on me and the opponent's head. But on this image you can see that my crosshair is on the enemy, but his isn't. This is because I'm further away from the object, which is the rock, gives me an advantage. This is because my crosshair is on his body, while his isn't because it's being blocked by the rock, which gives me milliseconds advantage, which can change the outcome of the battle. However, there is a flaw. In Gravedigger, the map is big and creative. Most tunnels are straight, and like I said, whoever's the most far from the object gets the advantage. And if he paid attention on how to do counter-strike peeking, is by going close to the wall. Only do this if the opponent is further away from the object, and yes, he will have a slight advantage, but like I said, try and do fast peeks and you might win. But the only time you should always use Peeker's advantage is close combat. As you might see, the video is coming to an end, so I want to end this video on a note. Every action you take, you have a reason why you want to do it, and what do you expect to get from it. And every time you die, you think about how to improve it, so it doesn't happen again. We all are humans, we make mistakes. We learn from mistakes and deaths. We learn new strategies or gain knowledge by always thinking to yourself if this is the right thing to do, and if not, how should I change it? The point I'm saying is, mistakes is to learn them and make sure it never happens again. The more you learn, the more less mistakes you're going to do. But anyways, let me present myself. I'm Sachi. I have 150 hours on the game. My highest skills is 71 on control with no shots or dreads. Only using Black Hand and Jesse with Officer. I hope this video helped you.